Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 5 gadgets and 5 star powers within the meta right now. So if you're unaware, there was a ton of balance changes with the star powers and gadgets, which we haven't seen for literally years now. Probably about 25 or so changes to some of the worst star powers and gadgets. So let's see if some of them made it to the top 5. Starting off with Gus's gadget, Cookie Popper. So without this gadget, I think Gus would actually be near the middle of the meta because this gadget allows him to not get countered as hard from the aggro picks. So if you're unaware what this does, every 4 shots, Gus actually, puts out a ghost onto the field. But if you time it correctly, whenever you shoot that 4th ghost, you can actually pop your gadget straight away and you're basically dealing like 2,800 damage at the click of the button. It's pretty insane. You also have a knockback as well, so in game modes like Brawl can be really clutch. Or for example, if you want to cancel an enemy super, or like a Carl super for example, or if a Buzz is grappling onto you, this gadget can really be so clutch. But also the main reason why it's so strong is because on his best game modes, Bounty and Knockout, a lot of his squishier options, he can often like 2-tap them and then ghost them and he'll literally get the kills. So yeah, this gadget is the main reason why he's so strong. Without it, he would easily be like a B tier brawler. Okay, so jumping into another really broken gadget in the game right now, we have Clay Pigeons. So of course, Shelly has a lot of good things with her kit overall, but I think Clay Pigeons is actually the main reason why she's anywhere close to the top of the meta. The main reason being is because you got so much usage for it. So you can do one of 2 things, right? You can either just pop it as soon as you spawn when you're nowhere near close to super, and it'll build up your super so incredibly quickly, and then by the time that gadget of course has ran out, you've literally probably like 1 shot away from super, already got it, and then you've got so much pressure because you have that Shelly super. Or you can combine your Shelly super with the Clay Pigeons and the Shell Shock star power, and you can just destroy people and cycle your super so quickly, and it just makes it really hard for the opponents to really deal with you. Or you could either just snipe people across the map. You can deal so much damage with this Clay Pigeon, especially onto squishier options. It's pretty hard for the opponents to really do anything. You think of long-range sharpshooters like Piper, for example. You've basically got that in Shelly, in Clay Pigeon's form. So for me, this gadget is incredibly broken and definitely needs a nerf. Okay, so jumping into another really strong gadget which we have in the game right now, it is a Residue with Squeak. So this gadget has always been pretty much the best gadget in the game, or one of the best, but Squeak has kind of suffered in previous metas. He's kind of been in and around the middle of the pack, not really thriving too much, but of course the buff to his star power has just made this gadget even better. So if you're unaware what this does, it creates a slowing effect around his next attack when you pop that gadget, and then it also reveals the opponents when they're inside of the grass. So of course you can pretty much get use out of this in every single situation. You can block off certain points so then the opponents literally can't go through that little zone for 10 seconds. May not seem like a long time, but especially in game modes like Hot Zone, for example, you can start to get so much zone time. And by the time you've used all 3 of the gadgets, a lot of times you've got like 50% of the Hot Zone already. So that's such a big lead for just a click of a button. It's so incredibly strong, especially on maps like Duel and Beetles, or even just any Hot Zone map. You're going to get so much control out of this gadget. It just allows him to cycle his super as well, especially because of the damage buff. I just think this gadget is just so strong in this current meta. Okay, so jumping into another, well, really 2 strong gadgets, we have Cordelius's gadgets. So you've got either the jump one, which is really good in a lot of different scenarios, or you've got basically the Otis mute with a click of the button, which is going to be the better gadget on maps with a lot of grass. It's just so crazy broken to me. The fact that you can just use this with a click of the button, like I said, you've literally got other brawlers that need to literally charge up their whole entire super. It allows you to win so many 1v1 fights, but then of course, as I mentioned, the jump as well can be really clutch in certain situations. So I just feel like Cordelius has such a strong kit overall that you can get so much value out of both gadgets. So both of them are definitely worth buying. And lastly, for the really strong gadgets, we have Sugar Rush with Bonnie. So this gadget has been one of the best since Bonnie's introduction, and I just think without it, Bonnie would just be such a free kill every single time. So as long as you've got a gadget in hand, you can always get a lot of pressure with this gadget because it gives you a speed boost and also a reload boost as well. So a lot of good Bonnies can literally clip, for example, if you're in a 1v1 against like a Piper or Belle, who should clearly win that 1v1 when you're really slow, you can just pop that gadget, push them back, get a lot of pressure, build up your super even quicker, and then that just allows you to cycle, of course, a lot quicker as well. I just love this gadget, and as I said, without it, Bonnie would just be such a free kill every single time. Alright guys, so probably jumping into the best star power in the game right now, we have Squeak's star power chain reaction. So it recently got a buff from going from 10% extra damage to 20%. So some people still misunderstand what this star power actually does with Squeak. I've seen quite a few comments on it, so let me explain it to you guys. What this does, you know, without this star power, no matter what, Squeak's main attack is going to deal 1620 damage, but with one opponent just literally shooting just your normal attack, the damage goes from 1620 to 1944. So that's a 300 damage boost from every single shot that you hit. That is just absolutely insane. And if you combine this with the damage gear, it's 2200 damage every single time. So that's the main reason why Squeak is meta, is because of this star power. You're able to put out so much extra damage, and of course if the enemies clump up, it's going to multiply the damage even more. So it's just good in a 1v1 anyways. So this star power is just so insane. Okay, so jumping into one of the best star powers in the game right now, we have a Crow star power extra toxic. So every single meta, this star power just pretty much breaks the game in a sense. People just unaware of how strong this is a lot of times, because when you look at it, it may not seem the most like overwhelming star power, but a 25% damage reduction, especially in some 1v1s, that is absolutely huge. So the way you want to play Crow anyways is to consistently chip the opponents. You know, he's not the best damage dealer as such, but he's really annoying. But you combine the poison with this extra damage reduction and also the healing reduction that it has as well, it's just such a strong kit overall. And especially, you know, there's a few scenarios where this star power will come in absolutely clutch. So for example, if your tank is about to get in a 1v1 matchup with another tank, if you of course hit one shot onto them, that's going to make them deal 25% less damage, and your tank should pretty much all of the time win that 1v1. So for me, this star power is a must-have, is one of the best in the game easily. Next up, we're jumping into another really strong star power, which is well-oiled with Tick. So this star power has been pretty much one of the best star powers in the game since its introduction. So if you're unaware what it does, it literally regens Tick 2 seconds quicker than your normal time. So basically every time you've got a piece of ammo, you're already starting to regen your health. The reason why this is so strong is because of course Tick is so squishy, so it allows him to at least get back to his full HP. It's got an amazing synergy with the shield gear as well, and it just allows him of course to get that extra HP a little bit quicker. And just overall, it's just like a perfect synergy with the well-oiled and just the way your kind of reload works. It's just beautiful, especially against like fellow throwers as well. You can just put up a lot of pressure a lot easier, because you don't have to worry about falling back a lot of the time. You can just keep the pressure because it's well oiled. It's going to constantly keep ticking you up, and especially in that 1v1 as I mentioned, you should be able to win it easily with a star power. Okay, so jumping into another really strong star power, we still have it, Stu's Gasser Heal. So every single time I'm talking about the best star powers, this just tends to always come in the conversation. The main reason why it's so strong is because he can constantly keep spamming his super, and it keeps topping his HP up. It's just so strong in so many different interactions, and it allows him just to be so aggressive. I love his star power pretty much all the time, and I just can't switch away from it. So for me, you just must have this star power. But I feel like surely everyone has this star power by now. Let me know whether you have it in the comment section below, because I feel like for like 2 years now I've told you guys to get this star power max out, Stu. So surely you have it, but for me it still is one of the best star powers in the game. Okay, and jumping into the final really strong star power within the game right now, we have Gene's star power, Magic Puff. So still, this star power is probably the main reason why Gene is actually relevant in this meta, because whenever I try him out, it's actually hard to hit pulls onto a lot of different people because there's so many things to tank his pull. But the main reason why I use Gene is to heal up my teammates, so they can just keep the pressure up and they can pretty much carry a Gene. Before, Gene used to be a carry brawler, but I think he's definitely more so a support brawler. So the other reason why I use him, as I mentioned, is the star power and the visions. So Magic Puffs is going to keep you and the teammates alive, and especially if you pair that with like a max or just any type of aggression, it's going to allow you to win so many 1v1s. And that's why it's really strong in really passive game modes like Bounty and Knockout. It's because you're going to get a lot of synergy with your teammates. So for me, you definitely need this star power. Alright guys, it's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. So let me know down in the comment section below what your top 5 star powers and gadgets are. Whether you think anything has kind of changed in terms of the builds. You know, you saw my best builds video as well. I don't think too much really changed, except for like chain reaction on Squeak. That just made Squeak one of the best brawlers in the game pretty easily. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.